afternoon. Welcome to Afternoon Chat. I'm your host, Ghost Mostly. The chat is up and running. How's everybody doing today? So, if you get in here about a half an hour before the live stream starts, you'll find the chat is active. You guys can talk to one another. Afternoon Chat, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A free show. The guest stars of the show are the people in the chat. They determine what we talk about. No midstream ads, no commercials, no sponsors. No set agenda, no script. This show's got nothing if it ain't got you guys. You guys in the chat run the show. So what's going on today? Recently, the FBI released some doorbell camera footage from Nancy Guthrie's house. That's what I was watching. Someone should be able to identify this creep. It's got to be someone from the Tucson area. My personal guess is white male, 55 and older, probably overeducated and probably a no-talent salesman. I'm thinking realtor or perhaps a broker. That's my best guess. And it's purely a guess. They got enough footage, they should be able to catch him. He's a pretty good-sized kid. Well, man, I should say. He had a mustache and probably a soul patch, at least, if not a beard. Appeared to be right-handed and wear a bracelet on his right hand. Camouflage backpack. A zip-up windbreaker, black with some white trim. And heavy-duty rubber gloves he was wearing. I have no idea what the caliber of his gun was. Looked like a Glock of some kind. I'm not a specialist in handguns, though. I'm thinking an amateur, not a pro by any means. Those are my guesses. I'm hoping they can identify him later today. They need to get this creep. Anyone that's going to attack our senior citizens, they need to be put behind bars quickly. So what are you guys into today? What's on your mind? What do you guys want to talk about? The Trump files? I call them the Trump files. His name's in them more than Epstein's. I'm just saying. My opinion. If it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, I think it's a friggin' duck. Yeah, I believe our country is being run by a pedophile. That's the way it appears to me. He could just, go sit down and take a polygraph. That might convince some of us. Dirtbag from the word go. Unbelievable. The more these files come out, the more they all look guilty. Each and every one of them. 3 decades. 1,200 victims. 3 decades. Both Republican and Democratic presidents, they all knew about it. And they all said, oh, don't worry. They're all guilty. When you go into the polls to vote, don't re-elect anyone. That's my personal opinion. Get all of these people out. We need all brand new people. It's a crapshoot no matter what you do in an election anyways, but we can't re-elect these same people that are hiding these files. If they're not standing in front of the White House screaming at the top of their lungs, they're all guilty as charged. Or guilty as not charged. I still say we need a special prosecutor, give them a huge budget and say, go get these creeps. Get them off the streets. Personal opinion. Feel free to jump in the chat and disagree. That's what this show's all about. If you want to be able to chat, you need to get that Discord app from YouTube. It's free. According to my analytics, 85% of the people that watch this show watch it on their TV. They chat with a phone, tablet, or computer. I'm told that the latest smart TVs have the ability to chat built into them, but I haven't seen it yet, and I'm not telling anyone to go buy a TV, so. What's on your mind today? What are your priorities? What do you guys want to talk about? I had breakfast with the family this morning. We had a good turnout. We had 10. It was fun. Then I did my grocery shopping and got my sticker shock for the week. $9.31 I paid for a pound of ground beef this morning. Highest prices on beef I've ever seen in my lifetime. I looked at the steak, but I couldn't afford to buy any of it. Yeah, it's getting ridiculous. The cost of living in America is going up exponentially. I don't know. I don't see where it's going to, even if he were to drop all those stupid tariffs, they're not going to roll back the prices. They're just going to keep on because people are still buying the products now. Corporations don't turn away cash. Once you start paying a price, it's never going to go down. We've started paying these prices, so they're just going to go up. Corporate America is very greedy. Personal opinion. Feel free to jump in the chat and voice yours. I just, the corporations I worked for, I was in the casino industry. Those corporations don't turn down cash. I've seen them systematically rape their customer base over and over and over. It's standard business practice in corporate America. Well, think about it. What prices have you seen go down? I don't see any prices going down ever. I think the best you can do is clip coupons and watch your pennies. In my opinion, money's getting hard to come by. So what are you guys up to today? I got nothing going on the rest of the week. Our weather did break. Hey, Ultra. Thanks for showing up. Our weather warmed up. We're over 30 degrees. The snow's starting to melt. What's on your mind today, Ultra? Did he say yes to being your boyfriend? I mean, that's got to be the question of the day, right? Oh. Now you got me sitting on the edge of the couch here. I'm waiting. You got to at least tell those mutual friends. The way I see it, the guy is going to be lucky to have you. Okay? You're nice, you're pleasant, you're intelligent. Don't worry about your dark side. We all have a dark side. Means nothing. In this day and age, it means nothing. Hopefully, he'll be on board. I know you're probably doing chores. I'm guessing dishes, but mine are done. I did dirty a coffee cup this morning, but that's it. Yeah, I'm on my Gatorade already. Just because I don't drink the product don't mean they're sponsoring the show. There's no commercials here. I'm not telling anybody to go buy Gatorade. I'm drinking it because my doctor told me I needed electrolytes midday. Well, it's midday, so I'm drinking my Gatorade, trying to be a good boy. I don't do that often. So what's on your mind? What do you guys want to talk about today? I barely remember last night. I kind of smoked myself into oblivion. Kind of. Well, I got thinking around with analytics and it got kind of boring. Then I went on to the live chat for this Nancy Guthrie, and I was on that for 2 hours. I'm really hoping they find this guy, arrest him, and get her back safely today. His videos all over social media right now. He's getting hammered all over the internet. They'll track him down. Social media is very fast when they're looking for someone. Faster than you might think. While I was watching TMZ, I saw the videos on there. The guy looked to me to be, of good size. I'd say, 6'2", 240, something like that. That's a guess. I'm sure the FBI has got better stats than that. Now, I worry about the FBI because I think Kash Patel is not the leader we need him to be. Well, the fact that he's willing to help cover up these Trump files. And I've changed it up. It's not the Epstein files now. It's the Trump files. He's mentioned more than Epstein is. And it's the Epstein ballroom. It's not the Trump ballroom. So what do you guys want to discuss today? Anything important? Any major issues? Minor issues? Yeah, I did my grocery shopping. I got that out of the way. I putzed around and cleaned house a little bit this morning. I went back and managed to take about a 45-minute nap. I would have preferred a 2-hour nap, but it just wasn't in the cards today. Ran too many errands. The channel is moving right along. I got 54 subscribers now. Gained another one this morning. My viewing hours, it's like 340. Slow but sure. We add a little more each day. So what's on your mind? What do you guys want to talk about? Yeah, I watched limited news this morning. I watched a little bit on Epstein and a little bit on Nancy Guthrie. I'm hoping she gets rescued today. Got my fingers crossed for her. Well, she's been kidnapped for 10 days now. That's at a certain point, the odds are against survival. I don't know exactly what that point is, but time is becoming a factor. She's been without her medication for over a week. You can't do that to a senior citizen. I'm the only one I know that's not really taking meds. All the seniors I know are taking a buttload, okay? I know a lot of seniors that are taking 8, 10 pills a day. I'm taking 4 a day, but mine are all vitamins. Well, a baby aspirin and 3 kinds of vitamins. I'm calling fish oil a vitamin. So what's on your mind? What do you guys want to talk about? The only real rules in here is you got to follow the community guidelines that are established by YouTube. We can talk about anything you want. I don't have a script. And I really don't have that much on my mind this morning. I'm still in shock from what I saw at the grocery store. I did catch my Dr. Pepper on sale, and I got a good sale today on cake mixes. I got 3 cake mixes for $5. It's like I don't know, $1.71 a piece, something like that. But I'm not making a cake today. I just bought 3 more mixes. That gives me 4 in the cupboard. I like to keep the cupboard stocked in case I don't get to the store for a couple of weeks. You never know when you might want to hunker down in the dead of winter in Michigan. But I bought basically beverages today. Dr. Pepper was on sale, and I bought coffee and Gatorade and bottled water. I did get a couple of boneless, skinless chicken breasts. They were less than the ground beef. Then I bought, staples, eggs, butter, bread, um, bagels, you know. To me, bagel is an easy breakfast. Yeah, just throwing it in the toaster. So, what's on with you guys today? What do you got going on? Tell me something fun and interesting. The guest stars in this show are the ones in the chat. They determine what we talk about. As long as we abide by those community guidelines, we're golden. We can talk about anything. I refuse to make this show about one thing or another. That's up to you guys. You're in charge, like it or not. If you guys don't jump in the chat, we're stuck with wherever my mind wanders, and there's no telling today. Yeah, I probably won't talk to my kids this week. Probably not. Maybe on the weekend. Whatever you guys got going on, it better be interesting. You need to entertain me today. And if I get talking about those Epstein files, I'll get pissed off again. Well, the latest was that they molested a 9-year-old girl. I'm sorry, but a 9-year-old? I don't have any compassion for any of these guys that did this stuff. None whatsoever. I think that they all should be prosecuted. If you and I did a crime, we'd be prosecuted. Just because they're filthy rich doesn't mean they should get away with it. I'm sorry, but that two-tiered justice system don't work. It don't fly, not in this country. You guys, anybody want to jump in the chat and tell me how to do a poll? Start a poll, okay. Ask a question. Should a special Oh, I guess I got to capitalize Epstein. All right. Start poll. Let's see how that does. I've never done a poll before. We'll see. Should a special investigator reopen the Epstein files? Let's see if we can get anything on the poll today. We got people jumping in and out. Maybe they'll vote. Can't hurt. I'm surprised I found out how to do it. I amaze myself sometimes. Yeah, it's warm in here today. I didn't turn the heat down and the weather warmed up, so I think it's mid-30s out there. I know that everything's starting to melt. It's trying. I'm in Michigan. I don't know where you guys are, but I'm in Michigan, and we need this snow to melt. There's like a foot of it on the ground. Huge piles everywhere you look. Hopefully, the poll will generate some action. If you want to be able to chat, you need that Discord app from YouTube. It's free, just like the show's free. I'm not trying to tackle you or your wallet, okay? Well, it's working already. We got a voter. Thank you. I appreciate you. It's my first poll ever. I'm learning. Yeah, I don't have a producer. I saw the guy that I watch for Lions information, Mike Kimber. He just hired a producer. I saw big changes on his show. So if you're just jumping in and out, don't forget to vote on the poll. Let us know what you're thinking. I think we need a special investigator to be appointed and reopen all those files. Go after those guys. They need to be prosecuted. They raped a girl with Down syndrome. They raped a 9-year-old girl. Okay. 1,200 victims over 30 years. That was Espionage Island. The Israeli government, the US government, and the Russian government were all involved. 3 decades that went on. They all knew about it. I think they need to prosecute them all. Reopen the investigation and just go after them. Personal opinion. I welcome you to voice yours, but these crimes are heinous. And the United States government was aware this was going on, and they did nothing. When Republicans and Democrats were in control, they did nothing. They won't release the financial records because when they do, people will find out who was paying this guy. Thank you, Sharon Kirks. I appreciate you today. What part of the world are you in? I'm in Michigan. Yeah, the more I read on this Epstein stuff, the worse it gets. And they're redacting the names of the guilty, not of the innocent victims. They're redacting the names of the guilty. They're still continuing to cover this up. It's been going on for 30 years, and they still think these people should be protected. I totally disagree. I think they all need to be prosecuted quickly. And I think that Congress should pass some law that says that there's no statute of limitations on these crimes. I don't care if the guy's 95 years old. If he molested a child, put his ass in jail where he belongs. He does not belong in our society, and I don't care how much money he's got. You and I are held accountable for everything that we've ever done. Hey, Sharon, anything I can ever help you with, big or little, I welcome the opportunity. We can talk about anything you guys want to talk about. The guest stars of this show are the people in the chat. I have no script. I have no agenda with this show. 5 days a week, I get on here and I just wing it for 2 hours. But this was the first poll I've ever done. I've gotten lucky so far. It worked so far. I appreciate all the viewers. I appreciate anyone that can like and subscribe. I am trying to build the channel. I need it to get monetized eventually, but that's YouTube's standards, not my own. They tell me I need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 viewing hours. I enjoy doing this. And I made a commitment to myself that I'd give it 3 years. Give myself a chance to build a following. Right now, I'm not sure who all is even aware that the channel's on. I don't know who YouTube markets it to. But I like this show. Just the way it's set up, I think it's perfect. And it gives me something to do 5 days a week. When you're retired and you feel kind of worthless, that's important. I like doing this a lot. I actually feel like I've accomplished something at the end of each stream. I get a little bit of flack for my smoking, but that's your proof that I'm not AI. Okay. Everybody knows that AI doesn't smoke. Yeah, breakfast was good this morning. Family and friends. There's no better way to start your day. Now you got to tell Bill to look me up on his phone now. I've been doing this 5 months now. And I'm having a great time. Sometimes we talk about TV shows. Sometimes we've talked about recipes. Sometimes politics. Sometimes boyfriends. Ultra Kenny, she's been hanging out with a guy for a couple of months, and she's going to ask him to become her boyfriend. That's real interesting. A little bit of drama in the chat room is a good thing, right? I just enjoy breakfast. It's the Tuesday morning. We had 10 this morning in our group. That just warms my heart. There's no better way to start a day. Then I went to the grocery store and got, Heart Attack City. I spent $100 at the grocery store. I got food for 4 meals for $100. No steak. I bought ground beef. Okay. $9.31 for 1 pound of ground beef. It's the most I've ever paid. For that kind of price, it should come with a cook and a dishwasher. Okay. I'm telling you. Food should not be that expensive. The only thing I did notice is I did get eggs at $1.99 a dozen today. That's the lowest price I've paid on eggs in a while. And I was at Meijer. Between that and the cake mixes, I feel I got a little bit of the ground beef money back. I got cake mixes. I think they were Betty Crocker brand. I got them 3 for $5. That's about the best I can do. I'm not going to make a cake today. I just finished one last night. I make a cake and I get 4 servings out of that. Is that normal? 1 cake equals 4 servings? Yeah, that's what I paid for ground beef this morning. But I did catch my Dr. Pepper on sale. And the cake mix is on sale. But coffee, through the roof. I got 1 can of coffee. I think it was $13. Well, the tariff is on the coffee because we don't make any coffee here. It comes from Brazil. $25 tariff. That's probably, I don't know, $2.50 at least. Hopefully, the Supreme Court will rule on that soon. I wish they'd tell him he can't do these tariffs. He started a trade war with the entire world, and it makes no sense. He thinks that a trade imbalance is bad. And it's just not. We don't sell American cars in Japan because the Japanese people like small cars, and America makes big cars. If they want to get into that market, they need to make small cars. Duh. We don't need to tariff everything that comes from Japan. There's no such thing as a trade deficit. They make it sound like we're losing money. It's not a deficit, it's an imbalance. America has more people and more money than any other country in the world, except China. So we have a trade imbalance. We buy more of their stuff than they buy of our stuff. As long as they're buying what they want of our stuff, and as long as we're buying what we want of their stuff, it should not be an issue. But by putting all these tariffs out there, we are importing less from other countries, and we are exporting less to other countries. It's bad for business, and we pay more. The American consumer pays all tariffs. If you're a Japanese businessman and you're selling something to the United States that costs, let's just keep a round number, $1, right? They put a 25% tariff on there. Now it costs us $1.25. The Japanese businessman is not going to make less money. If he does, he gets fired from his job. He has to increase profits from year to year, just like an American businessman must increase profits from year to year. As a CEO of a corporation, if you don't increase your profits and lower your costs at the same time, you don't make extra money next year. And if you don't make more money next year, you get fired. All those price increases that Trump thinks are getting paid by the foreign country are just getting passed on down the line to us. So that product the Japanese guy was selling for $1, now he's expecting to sell less. And he's got to make at least the same amount as he did last year. But now he's figuring he's going to sell less products. So he's going to raise that price to $1.10. Then the importer, the guy in America that has him ship it here so that he can turn around and sell it to you, is in the same boat. He ain't making less than he made last year. He needs to make more. And if his cost is now $1.10, he's got to up it and make it $1.20. Now the 25-cent tariff gets added on, and you and I are at the store, and now we're paying $1.45 for what used to cost $1. It's a no-win scenario for us, the consumer, the people buying the product. Tariffs are not a good thing. It's a hidden tax on the consumer. And that hidden tax that we're paying is not tax deductible. You can't write it off on your income tax. You just get to pay it. If your state raises taxes on you, you get to write that off on your federal. You can't write off a tariff. All you can do is pay it or go without that product. I'm not going without coffee. Okay. I got to have my coffee, and I'm drinking decaf. It's not even the caffeine I'm hooked on. This is the way it works in America in 2026. Our own government is attacking us financially. They just threw these tariffs in so that we can pay them. And then they're saying, oh, look at all this tariff money we brought in. I know you brought it in because you took it from us. It came right out of our wallet. Yeah. He thinks if he tells a lie over and over again, it makes it a truth. And it does not. Okay. The man's a little bit touched. Okay. He does not have a grip. That's for damn sure. In my opinion, we should have free trade. There should not be any tariffs on any foreign country unless it's needed to save a particular industry. A few years back, the cherry farmers here in Michigan could not sell their cherries. Their cherries were going to waste because foreign cherries were selling cheaper and everyone was buying the foreign cherries. If you take that specific industry, that specific product, and you put that tariff on imported cherries, it drives that price up so that the imported price and the locally grown price are real close. That's the way you use a tariff properly. Then once the Americans are able to get their costs under control, then you remove the tariff and go back to free trade. This is something they did years ago with the steel industry. In order to keep selling American steel, they needed to level the playing field. A tariff should be used surgically, not widespread blanket tariffs on everybody. That makes no sense at all. Those tariffs actually raise our cost of living. It increases inflation. The bottom line is our own government is the one that's taxing us with these tariffs, and they're unnecessary. A trade imbalance is not a bad thing. There's 340 million people in America. If we all decide to buy something from a country like Japan that only has a population of 25 million? It's never going to be completely balanced. We have more people, we have more money. We're buying more than they are buying. And you can't force them to buy American cars. You can't force them to buy American beef. You know? It's ridiculous. They're saying that it's a trade deficit. It's not a deficit. It's not a loss. It's a simple imbalance. In an ideal world, we would spend, I don't know, 60 billion on imports, and we would export 60 billion. But the world's not perfect. It's always going to be imbalanced, especially when you're the bigger country and your people have a bigger budget. Your people have more money to spend. A guy, he just put a 25% tax on Vietnam. How many things can we buy from Vietnam? Not many. But do you think those people in Vietnam with dirt floors, no air conditioning, you think they can afford to buy American products? What are they going to do with a Sealy Posturepedic bed? Okay. It's ridiculous to think that are gonna want to buy a Cadillac. Their parking spaces in their country aren't big enough for a Cadillac. Those guys are running around on scooters. It's ridiculous to think that we can sell our products all over the world in these third world countries that don't have the same income level we have. I remember a few years back, a buddy of mine, a work buddy, he went to Italy on vacation. He was there a month. And he come back and I said, how was Italy? And he says, there's 3 buildings in the entire country that have air conditioning, and one of them's in the Vatican, and you don't get access to it. In this day and age, in Italy, air conditioning is not a thing. So how can we sell them air conditioners? It makes no sense. The Supreme Court needs to rule against these tariffs, and they need to unwind them all and stop them all and let us get back to free trade. What Trump is doing is he's cooking the books. He was convicted on 34 felony counts of fraud in his businesses in New York. He cooked the books and got caught. Now he's running our government and he's cooking the books. He's not releasing the real numbers on unemployment. He's not releasing the real numbers on inflation. He's cooking the books. It's the only thing he knows how to do. Of his businesses that he used to run, he had casinos in Atlantic City. I was working in the casino industry in Las Vegas. We had some employees came and hired in, and I talked to them. I spoke to them about Donald Trump's casinos. I wanted to know, should I consider going to Atlantic City and working in Atlantic City? Can I make any money there? And his former employees told me what he was doing back in those days was he would move in to whichever casino and live off of their cash flow and bankrupt them. And when they ran out of money, when the place went broke, he'd move to a different one of his businesses and live there. and live off of that business's cash flow. And then in turn put that business in bankruptcy. He filed 6 bankruptcies. And he's in the casino business. The casino business is down to a science. Before you ever build the building, you know how many slot machines are going to be in there, how many table games are going to be in there, and you know exactly how much money you're going to make. It's not a guesstimate. It's not a gamble. It's a science. They tell you what color carpeting you have to have. Okay? There's no guesswork. The only way a casino goes broke is by not putting people in it. If you lock the doors and the people can't come in, your casino will lose money. As long as you keep the doors open and people can come in, sit their butts in your chairs, you're guaranteed to make profit. Their only overhead is their electric bill. That slot machine can run for 20 years, just like your TV at home. How often do you have to have a TV repaired? Exactly. The most repair they ever had to do on the slot machines was in the hopper. That was the coin holder that dumped coins out to you. Now that the casino pays you in credits and they give you a slip of paper instead of coins, that machine needs no maintenance. It doesn't even have wiring anymore. It's done with fiber optics. Being a businessman does not make you qualified to run a government. A government is not a business. Every one of these businesses that Trump filed bankruptcy on, he did not pay his employees. He did not pay his vendors, the electricians, the drywallers, all those contractors that you call. He didn't pay them. He stiffed them. His employees, when he closed the doors on those casinos, his employees did not get a final paycheck. He stiffed them. The employees that used to work for Donald Trump that I met told me the only one allowed to make money in a Donald Trump casino was Donald Trump. The employees got no overtime. They got stiffed at every turn. This is the way business works. A business, a corporation, is bloodthirsty. They're brutal. They don't care. They don't have a conscience. That's not how you govern. Governments don't run without having a conscience. When they do, they're called dictatorships, not democracies. As far as I'm concerned, Donald Trump is cooking the books. I don't trust anything he says. If they release numbers, I don't believe them. It's the same thing. He got convicted for 34 felony counts of cooking the books, and he never saw a jail cell. He paid no penance. He showed no remorse. So why would he quit doing it? Okay. It's what he does. If You're doing the same thing repetitively over and over for years and get away with it. Why would you stop? You wouldn't. He wouldn't. So he's cooking the books. The private sector information is going to be accurate, but not the numbers released by this government. The numbers released by this government are going to be an out and out lie. He thinks that if he tells a lie over and over and over, people believe it. He thinks it makes it become true, and it doesn't. He's trying to say he won the 2020 election to this day, 6 years later. He did not. He filed in 60 different courts to prove that the election was stolen from him. He failed in all 60 cases. He had no proof. The election was not stolen. He lost. I don't care how many times he wants to lie and say he was elected in 2020. He was not. He can say it for the next 20 years if he lives that long, but it will never make it true. The numbers for 2025 won't come out until the real numbers won't come out until after the election this year, after the November election. The real numbers for 2025 will start trickling out. And the real numbers are going to show that the United States lost money in 2025. We did not gain. There was no growth. He actually is shrinking the American economy. We import less. We export less. He fired 250,000 government workers. All those people made less money, had less to spend. So how did the economy grow again? When everything's reduced, the economy's not growing. It is shrinking. And now they're bringing up AI to take all the jobs from the workers. When he says it's the golden age, he's talking about the 1%, the top 1% in America that own the corporations. They're making bank. They're making increased profits over last year. But they're the only ones. No one else. I saw this in the casino industry. You had a casino that was making $50 million a year in profit. The new CEO gets hired. The next year, his profits $55 million. He had a 10% increase in profit. So I walked into his office and I said, hey, couldn't help but notice your profit increased by a full 10% last year. Could I get a 10% raise so that I might be benefiting at the same time your business is benefiting? He laughed at me. That's absurd. So the next year, they made $60 million profit. I walked back into his office to have the same conversation. No raise for you. We're making more. My bonus is higher, but you're going to have to stay at your minimum wage job plus tips. That's corporate America. They don't share the wealth. As they make it, they take it, and you're on your own. Welcome to corporate America in 2026. When I had a 33-year career in Las Vegas. When I started dealing, I made minimum wage plus tips. When I left the industry 33 years later, the dealers made minimum wage plus tips. There was no increase. Did you happen to see what happened to Las Vegas in 30 years' time? The town doubled in size. Okay? The casinos doubled in size. Their profits doubled. But their workers got pissed on. They got nothing. Welcome to corporate America. Every time you hear about these corporations that want to merge, and your politicians take the bribes and say, that's good for America, they're lying through their teeth. That's not good for America. Good for America would be give those employees a raise. That puts more money in their pocket. They can spend more money. Corporate America had a problem when unions came in. Unions came into the auto industry specifically, and they said, we couldn't help but notice your own employees cannot afford to buy your vehicles. Hello? The people that work for you can't afford to buy your product. So the unions held out and they got their wages increased. That's when the corporations decided, we don't like these unions. We don't want these unions around. When the Las Vegas casinos tried to unionize their table games dealers, I was right in the thick of it. I saw what went down. The Nevada Resort Association, a group of casinos, put up $30 million to fight the incoming union. They were very successful. The union got formed in 4 out of 12 casinos. 30%. That's the best we could do. Unions, labor unions, are good for America. Corporations are bad for America. We'd be better off with sole proprietorships. Without the corporation, the worker gets treated better. When I got to Vegas, I was in my second year as a dealer, and I hired into Circus. They were not a corporation at that point. and their employees were treated with dignity and respect. December came around, the slow time of the year, and management would walk up and say, hey, we're not going to make you go home. We're going to stay and make sure you get a paycheck. Minimum wage is better than nothing at all. We understand there's less customers. You're not making any tips, but we're going to need you guys in January when business picks back up. So we'll back you throughout December. Just stay with us. Don't go work at the joint across the street. The employees were treated with respect. No one was laid off. The casino was then bought by the corporation. The corporation came through in the 1st of December. Boom, they laid off half their staff. You guys are on your own. Business is slow. Corporate America don't care. You're better off with that single owner because he did care about his people. Doesn't mean all single owners, but that particular one did. The corporation did not. They actually pushed that owner. They actually stole his casino from him. They pushed him out. That's corporate America, wheeling and dealing. They went behind his back and they pushed him out of his own business. They took it from him. And then they started mistreating their employees because they didn't care. The guys that make these corporate decisions have college educations, but they have no work experience. They hire into these corporations because they've got that degree, and that degree says the best way for this corporation to make money is to stop paying for health care for these employees. Let's let them pay their own health care. Increase corporate profits, decrease the employees' spendable money. They shift the cost to you. This is what corporations do. Lower their cost, pass it on to other people. Glad I can entertain you, Sharon. Very glad. This is what businesses do. They focus on taking care of them, their bonus. You don't get a bonus. They get a bonus. If you're a CEO and you fail to raise your corporate profits, you get fired. So the first thing they do when the new CEO comes in is cut costs, lay off employees, get rid of them, and then they try to get new business in. They try to get games that make them more money. We have a blackjack table that makes us 12% profit per year. And now they came up with this new game. It's called Let It Ride. If we take out the blackjack game, we put in the Let It Ride game, that gives us 35% a year profit. A lot better than that 12 on the blackjack. So there goes that blackjack table. It's gone now. Never to return. Now that Let It Ride game is there. That Let It Ride game holds 35%. Just because it's there don't mean you need to play it. All those unsuspecting blackjack players says, oh, a brand new game. Let's try it. There's a big difference. The house makes more money. That's corporate America. That CEO got a big raise. He got a bonus. He increased his company's profits. All these employers used to offer pensions. They took out those pensions that were to the advantage of the employee, and now they give you 401k. And we're going to put in matching funds. That was not to your benefit. That was to the corporate benefit. That was your loss as the employee. You take it in the shorts. You lost your pension. It's gone, never to come back. This is corporate America. They took away the pensions and they added the 401k, and they said, this is just as good. It is not. They lied over and over and over again. They stopped paying for your health care. You pay for your health care. That insurance, you're paying that now. They're not paying it. They provide it, and they pick the benefits that you get from it. And when the corporation gets big enough, they actually cut out the insurance company and they become self-insured. When they become self-insured, then they start to decrease your benefits. It's like they're in direct competition with you. When I was working at Circus, this is back the late 80s. They had a medical administrator that handled all your insurance processing. So as an employee, I'm getting all these damn doctor bills that aren't getting paid. And I'm like, why aren't they paying the doctor bills? I go down to the administrator's office, and this office is in total disarray. I'm talking like 25 desks, and they all got stacks of paperwork, files laying on them. This was before the computers, mind you. Stacks. And then they had other stacks beside the desk that came up off the floor and were higher than the desk. 3 to 4 foot high. And I went in there and I said to the guy that's working there, hey, how come my doctor's bills aren't getting paid? And he says, we're buried in all this paperwork. Don't you see it stacked up on every desk? And I'm like, yeah. Well, find my paperwork and process it and get it pushed through here. He said, I'll do my best, A couple of months roll by. I come back in to see the same guy. Only this time I called him and I told him I'm on my way and I want to know why these damn bills aren't getting paid, because they're in my name. You're ruining my credit. I get down there, they'd lock the doors. They locked the doors in the middle of the day because I had called and I'm pissed. I'm on my way down there. I'm going to find out what the hell's going on today. I get down there. The doors are locked. They call the police on me. Were you threatening these people? No. I'm here looking for answers, though. The cop tells me evidently they don't have any answers for you. They've locked the doors. They're not coming to the door. All right, I go home. I go back to work. I get to work. I get called into the office. I go into the office and they say, you're scaring the people down at our medical administrator's office. We're on top of it. We told them to pay your bills. I swear to God, true story. They're self-insured. When I scared them, they called my boss. It's all the same company. They're self-insured. There is no insurance company. Welcome to corporate America. Funny, huh? The bigger these corporations get, the worse they get. The more times they merge, the worse off we are. Every time, well, take a look at your cable company. If you have cable, your bill's probably $200+ a month because they kept letting them merge. And every time they merge, there's less competition. We can charge any damn thing we want for cable. They ain't got a choice but to pay. We bought up all the smaller cable companies. Welcome to corporate America. Every time these joints merge, it is to the detriment of our society. And our politicians know it, but they're getting bribed to approve the mergers. Your politicians are taking the bribes from the corporations and they are changing the laws to help the corporations, not to help you, not to help me. The guy that owns that corporation is rolling in dough. They've got generational wealth and they want more. It's some sick shit. Sorry. This is big business in 2026. They buy up the smaller ones, and then they have no competition, and they can charge any price they want. Who is it? Bill Gates, the Microsoft guy. He invented Windows, right? Decades ago. I had just started getting my first computers back then, and I go out and I build my own computer. I got the best soundboard. I got the best graphics board. I got the max memory. I got the best of everything. I built it all up. And then I go to buy the operating system, the Windows system that Gates invented. And he wanted $400. This was in the late 80s. $400 was a big chunk of change in the late 80s, right? $400 for the operating system. I didn't want to pay it, but I didn't have a choice. Gotta have the operating system or the damn thing won't work. I paid the $400. Computer runs great. I got no complaints about it at all. And then the profits come in for Mr. Gates. And they said, oh, he's a philanthropic guy. He's going to donate all this money to charity. And they said, oh, he's pledged $50 billion to charity. Oh, he's a great guy. If he's that rich, why was that product $400? Why wasn't it $200? Oh, because he could charge that much. That's what they're doing with your telephones now. The exact same business market. It's called what the market will bear. I'm going to price it so high that the poor guy can't afford it. Because that's what the market will bear. I can still sell my product, but I make a shit ton of money. Your phone, they're selling your phone to you for $1,000. They make it for $60. That's what the market will bear, is that $1,000 for your phone. The casinos in Vegas did a similar thing, priced on availability. On Tuesday, you want to rent our hotel room, it's $60. On Saturday, it's $160. It's the exact same room. More people want to buy it on Saturday, so we can jack up the price. So that's our standard operating procedure. When more people want our product, we're going to charge more. Now, that same hotel room, only it's New Year's Eve, and everybody wants to come to Vegas for New Year's Eve. So now that same room that was $60 on Tuesday, $160 on Saturday, now on New Year's Eve, that same room's $600. This is how they're pricing the seats in your sporting events. I just looked it up for my father on Sunday. I told him I can get you a ticket to the Super Bowl. Nosebleed seats start at $3,785. He laughed. He says, I think I'll pass. I said, me too. They're pricing us right out of the market. They can sell that seat at $3,785. Somebody's going to buy it at that price. It just can't be me. Price based on availability, or what the market will bear, is not in favor of the consumer. They're maximizing their profits and taking advantage. It's just like if there's a hurricane and I'm the only one with bottled water. And now all of a sudden I decide, well, I'm going to charge you $10 per bottle. Nobody else has got any water. The only water you can get is from me. You don't want to pay $10? That guy will. It's called profiteering. And in times of an emergency, a crisis like a tornado or a hurricane or a flood or something like this, it is illegal to do. But as a standard operating business procedure, oh, it's fine. You can profiteer off your customer base all you want. The casinos told me, they said, we got these players clubs coming out. People will be able to plug their card into the machine. We'll be able to track their play. Yada, yada, yada. This is a great thing. I said, how long do you keep that player once you give him that card? He stays on the average of 7 years. What happens after 7 years? Oh, we've raped him financially enough that he gets sick of us and he goes to the joint across the street. They know this, yet they do it anyways. It's just your hospital bills are done the exact same way. Costs you $8,000 a day to stay in any hospital in America. Why? That's what the market will bear. Sorry, corporate America. Most people would say $8,000 is excessive. It's profiteering. You're taking advantage of a guy while he's sick. Some would call that immoral. Corporate America calls it pure profit. They like it. They want more of it. It's never going to improve. Sorry. I don't mean to be bringing you all this bad news, but this is the way corporations operate, is they are heartless. They don't care. They don't respect their customer base. They don't want to retain their customer base. Why do you think a new pickup truck costs $100,000? They can get away with it. That's what the market will bear. How much of that is profit? Most of it. If you're making $5,000 profit every time you sell a truck, that truck isn't going to sell for $100,000. If you want to make $50,000 every time you sell that truck, it's going to sell for $100,000. Plain and simple. Corporate greed. You look, you check their records. They're publicly traded, all these companies. Their records are available to you online. Their profits go up every year. If they don't, they fire the CEO and start over. Every year, their profits must increase, and most corporations have a goal of at least 10% increase per year. So every 7.2 years, they double up. Yeah. That's based on the rule of 72. Rule of 72. Take a division bracket, put 72 in the middle. Take your interest rate and divide it by that. Divide 72 by your interest rate, and your answer is the number of years it takes for your balance to double. 72 divided by a 10% interest rate. Every 7.2 years, your balance doubles. It's a generalized formula. It's not an exact science, but it's damn close. I know they don't teach you the rule of 7. They don't want you to know. If you want to know about your credit card balance, how long does it take them to double you up? Divide 72 by your interest rate and whatever answer is in years. That's how long it takes them to double up your balance at that interest rate. It adds up real fast. That's why that interest rate is so important to keep low, right? It's because the number of years, if it's 5%, instead of 7.2, it becomes 14.4, right? Takes them twice as long to double you up. Sorry. Oh, this is the part of being an old man, is you gain the knowledge that over the course of the years to understand what these guys are doing. And they're doing it for greed. Pure and simple. These corporation owners already have generational wealth. Them, their kids, their grandkids, and their great-grandkids never have to work a day in their life. And they want more money. It's not enough. They got to have more. They changed the estate tax so that they can pass on that generational wealth without it getting re-taxed. When the system was designed, capitalism was designed, that generational wealth is supposed to be taxed at a very high rate so that most of that wealth went right back into society. It got paid into the government, not the individuals. They didn't get to keep it. They've changed those laws. They were at a 50% bracket. Probate laws, they call them. They're not there anymore. Now I think you can pass on $20 million tax-free after you pass. The way it's supposed to work is that money would have normally been taxed and go back into the government. They've changed those laws so that they can pass on the generational wealth. It never re-enters the system, and that's why taxes have to keep going up. If that money, as those people passed, if that money was taxed the way it was designed to be taxed and come back into the government, your taxes as the worker, the younger worker, wouldn't go up every year. It would balance out. They took away the end so that it doesn't come back. So now there's an imbalance, and it just keeps on growing, and every new generation has got to pay higher taxes than the generation before because we let all that wealth slip through and not get taxed. and not come back into the system. It's just like the cap they put on Social Security. You and I work, we pay 7.5% of our income into Social Security, up to a maximum of $160,000 a year. So if you make $50 billion profit in 1 year, the most you have to pay into your own Social Security is $160,000. They put a cap on there. There should not be a cap. If the little guy in the payroll has to pay 7.5%, then the big paycheck guy should be paying 7.5%. But no. They want the rich to pay less. Only the poor people have to pay the taxes. The rich people, they don't pay squat. Corporate America, 2026. That's where we are. All that generational wealth that they're passing on without it coming back in is why the minimum tax bracket has to pay 15% income tax. These millionaires, none of them are paying 15%. They're lucky to pay 8%. But the guys on the low end, they got to pay it all. That's the way they've set it up. They have bribed the politicians to set it up this way. Over and over and over again, they just keep bribing them. The politicians love it. You think that they're putting their hand out for your vote. They're putting your hand out for your bribe. If you don't bribe them, they don't know you're alive. Unfortunately, it's not going to get better anytime soon. They're continuing right along. Now they're rolling back safety standards. Factories, manufacturing, they had safety standards that were based on lives lost, injuries incurred. That's why we put those safety regulations in there. Too many people were dying. Now, corporate America is paying the politicians to take away those safety measures. Let's just go back to those people dying. That's the way corporate America looks at it. They want those safety regulations pulled because those safety regulations cost them money. They say, oh, we've replaced these. No, you've sacrificed human beings. More human beings will die. They would rather pay this cash settlement when the worker passes away on the job. They would rather pay that cash out than to leave those safety features in place, because the safety features, the rules, cost them more money in the long run. And some of these industries are saying, all right, so we go back to losing 5 employees a year. Big deal. We can always get new employees. It's not very nice that they do this shit, but they do it. Sorry. I'm not making this stuff up, and ain't nobody paying me to tell you this, but I'm telling you the truth as I understand it. My life lessons, I've seen all this stuff go down. Corporations are not good for America. I know I have a corporation. This evening, I have to renew my license, and I have to do my yearly statement. Ghost Mostly Media LLC. I have a corporation. I have to pay my licensing fee and put in my financial statement for the year. The corporation is an incorporation is a good thing for a small business. It is not a good thing for a big business. When it gets to big business, it gets abusive. Big business, they sit in the boardrooms and they say, it's okay if 5 of our employees have to die. As long as we saved X amount of dollars, we're cool. You don't see them rolling back these safety regulations on any work job that has a union. Union ain't gonna let them kill off the workers. Without labor unions, we'd still have slavery in this country. I swear to God. Labor unions are the only reason we get a living wage at all. Because that corporation, when it gets that big, they don't care about you. A sole proprietorship might. Doesn't have to, but he might. But once they get over 100, 200 employees, look out. Personal opinion is all I can offer you. I do want to thank the people in the chat today. Ultra Kenny, Sharon Kirks. I appreciate you guys. Stars of the show today. Afternoon chat is Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's for the live stream chat. If you missed a show, you can always go back and watch it. They're all there on YouTube. Go to the home page. You can find my shorts. You can find the opinions and explanations. I hope you'll find those helpful. They're all there for you guys. This is a free show. There's no midstream ads, no sponsors, no commercials of any kind. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not coming out with a line of merch. This show is so that you get the freedom to express your opinion to the world. You don't have to agree with me. This is always going to be an inclusive channel. It's never going to be an exclusive club. I appreciate everyone that can like and subscribe. It will help the algorithm somehow on YouTube. I gotta close down this poll, I think. I gotta figure this out somehow. All right, end poll. We ended up with 100% saying yes. That was interesting. That was the first poll. I appreciate all my viewers. Thank you for taking the time to spend with us. As always, I'm your host, Ghost Mostly. It is my belief that the good guys still outnumber the bad guys by almost 10-1 on this planet. I have the following philosophy: be nice to everyone all of the time. I truly believe that all that niceness, all that kindness comes back to you tenfold. Try to be patient with one another. Try to tolerate one another. You don't have to agree with everyone. You don't even have to like everyone. But you do need to tolerate everyone. If you want proof of tolerance, open your front door. Everything you see out there that is man-made, every road, every car, every signal, every wire, every telephone pole, if it's man-made, there's your bona fide evidence. There's your proof that the human beings before you put aside their differences and tolerated one another so that they could work together and build great things. When human beings collaborate, they lighten their workload and they achieve success. Proven fact. I'm not making it up. Okay? All that said, I thank you for your time and consideration today. Please recommend the channel to a friend or a family member. It might help me out some way, somehow. Regardless whether you can or can't, don't sweat it. I don't. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Find someone to love tonight. I dare you. See you tomorrow at 3.